Language and words are extremely limited in their ability to comprehend and capture the entirety of Brahman. Language, words, swadhyay, scriptures, shastras, shruti, smriti are all different terms representing the literary content used to capture the confines of the Brahman. At the end of the day, language itself arises from the Brahman. Panch Mahabhut, Bhumi, Rapo, Nalo, Vayu, Kham, and the upper Prakriti, Mano, Buddhi, Rev, Ahankar, constitute the Prakriti. Language is a unique combination of the lower Prakriti, Mahabhut, represented by Indriyas, and the upper Prakriti, represented by the Sukshma Sharir of mind, ego, and buddhi. So language has its father and mother in the lower and upper Prakriti. Although language does a good job of explaining or attempting to explain some portions of Brahman, it is extremely limited and abysmally failing in capturing the spectrum of Brahman. What you use to define also limits the description of what you are trying to define. Why is language so incompetent, incapable of capturing the essence of Shivchit, Prana, Shakti, Brahman? The reason is language is very selective in usage of the Indriyas. If you think about language, it is basically divided into Shruti and Smriti, as reflected in trying to capture the Vijnanmay Sharir or the Gyanmay Sharir, the wisdom sheath or the knowledge compendium. Shruti arises from one individual using the karmendriya of vak or speech combined with the reception by the ears. Smriti uses the karmendriya of hands, writing the scripture, followed by the jnanendriya of chakshu or vision to read what has been written. Both Shruti and Smriti are great ways to capture the content that has been created by the contemplative processes ongoing in the realms of buddhi and man. However, because they are selective in the utilization of the Indriyas, and Indriyas themselves are the lowest platform of existence, Indriyani paranundiv paramana, manasastu parabuddheyo buddhe partastu sa, Indriya being the lowest, followed by the man or the mind, followed by the buddhi or the intellect, and followed by the sa, soul. So that is the hierarchy of existence, and that hierarchy has to be utilized to the highest ladder so that we can ascend to the realm of Brahman. If you haven't tasted a rasagulla, no matter how many beautiful allegories or descriptions or analytical reasoning, deductive conclusions I try to draw, you would not know what sweetness is. You have to experience the object in this case, to know what it is. So know or knowledge comes first hand, or the best version, when someone experiences that. Experience beats evidence slash arguments of knowledge or language, I should say, every single day. Experience is number one. Description is number two. Description, analogies, allegories, using words and sound to capture the knowledge is always be an inferior tool to see the perfect picture. So sweetness has to be experienced. Similarly, the soul has experienced Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi, birth, death, old age and disease. In its process of living what we call a biological life as a jiva, to experience what misery and suffering is, to experience the dukh dosha darshanam. It has seen and witnessed dukh and dosha, defects and pain. This experience then opens the ladder or the window to understand what Brahman is. The chitta, once it has been cleansed in the individual's realm, is open to receive the signals, vibrations, frequencies of the cosmic consciousness. Cleaning your manomay sharir of all the unwanted kamas, desires, thoughts, emotions, cravings, expectations, understanding that we have suffered enough, is the tool that is necessary to go to the higher levels of the manomay sharir, which is the sankalp, intention, I will know Brahman one day, and Shraddha, surrender, I know nothing, teach me all there is to know, faith. Sankalp and Shraddha, intention and faith, need to replace the lower versions of the Manomay Sharir or Jnanamay Sharir in the realms of cravings, expectations, emotions, thoughts, and desires. Once these things have been eliminated, one is ready to receive the information that is being relayed by the higher powers. Using the language to understand Brahman, Paramatma, is like using a pair of bullocks to tow a Mercedes. Now, it is getting towed, but it's not driving the way smoothly it is supposed to be driven around, which is what happens once you enter the Anandamay Sharir or the Karan Sharir, where the Atman along with the Karma Bandhan live. However, when you destroy the Karma Bandhan, then Samadhi lets you enter the super consciousness via the chakra of Sahasrara, 1,000-petaled rose that even lies outside the body, unlike the other 6 chakras which are within your body. So language is always limiting in terms of being able to describe. You will get a partial sense of it, but you will not capture the essence of the experience, because that perception can only be had from first-hand exposure to Shiv Chitta. And the individual who has had the first-hand exposure to Shiv Chitta will become very quiet, just like Ramana Maharishi. He will not have much to say unless you poke and prod him and ask him a question, and he will respond in short sentences. He is not very descriptive, and he's not one to talk a lot, because language, speech, knowledge as in scriptures is again an expression of Rajas Guna. Prithaktvenu tu yaj jnanam Nana bhavan prithak vidhan, veti sarveshu bhuteshu, taj buddhi rajasam. The ability to delineate and distinguish one thing from the another, classify and subclassify in order to understand it is the process of rajas. The process of guna, of passion, excitement, agitation, vibration. You are using the rocky rajas to break the sticky mud of tamas, which is not letting you get out of the realms of ignorance and delusion. Monotony, autopilot, becoming like a machine, working 8 to 5, eating your food in the breakfast, lunch, dinner, going to bed, and ahar nidra bhay maithun, eating, sleeping, getting afraid of all the consequences that will hit us, and procreating once in a while to release the stressors by this short dopamine release. But what are you exactly releasing and overcoming? Nothing. The stress will still be there because dopamine is a praya, pleasure chaser, 7-second urge killer that helps you overcome the short-term perceived stresses. The long-term problem still remains. Giving a shot of steroid to a person who's having a flare-up of infection might make them feel better at the moment, but does nothing. In fact, worsens the problem, infection, long-term. So, quenching the dopaminergic surges of praya pleasures short-term by eating a cookie or embracing our partners or engaging in sexual activities is not a solution to reaching to the Anandamay Sharir. Doing any of those above is not wrong, but understanding that it's not a solution to our persistent, perpetual, lifelong problems of feeling inadequate or having low self-esteem or having physical, mental, emotional pain inflicted on us by the samsara has to be overcome through the power of Shiva, the power of introspection, the power of dhyanasana, mudra, kumbha kriya, the power of panch pratyahara and tri-yog, and not by engaging the guna with the guneshu, the indriya with the indriyartheshu, the objects of sensual gratification with the senses. Because whenever you use the power of indriyas, whenever you use the power of descriptive rajas passion, you are limiting the realm of what you're trying to explain or understand. So try to understand the limitation of language while you try to do swadhyay or read the scriptures, because the best version of understanding, perception, knowledge comes from first-hand experience. First-hand experience is not language. Shastras might tickle you in that direction of attaining Brahman, moksha, nirvana, but they will not be the end-all, be-all path for getting there. Your own pratyaharas, yajna, dan, tap, karmas will help you go and attain moksha, nirvana, and eternal bliss in this life. When you don't need a lot to keep yourself happy, there is not a lot that can make you sad. मेरी ज़रूरतें कम हैं, तभी मेरी ज़मीर में दम है. When you have this feeling and this understanding, then there's not a lot of things that can perturb you, torment you, torture you, blackmail you in this journey called life. So my friends, understand that language, whether in the realm of Shruti or Smriti, trying to attain knowledge or the ultimate truth, will be very limiting in the very thing that it is trying to delineate and describe. because it is trying to delineate and describe, it is trying to impart certain words which in themselves are reflections of experiences. Because they are words in the realm of Rajas, using classification and subclassification, they are limiting. To get a wholesome experience of what you are trying to understand the essence of Gyan or knowledge, which is the ultimate goal of yoga, whether Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, or Dhyan Yoga. The ultimate essence is Gyan Yoga, because you need Gyan which brings you peace, and peace precedes bliss. So to understand the Gyan, you have to experience the event. That experience comes from preparing yourself to be like a clean mirror which can reflect the image of the Paramatman. That clean mirror entails removal of all the impurities that are lying on the surface of the mirror or the man. The man is the mirror. The indriya hankerings, desires, calms, thoughts, emotions, expectations, cravings represent the impurities. Once we have cleansed off all these impurities using panch pratyahara of intermittent fasting, alkaline water, hot water consumption, kumbhak kriya for the air, exercises for the fire, and dhyan for the ether, or in terms of three yoga if I talk, complete sankalp and Shraddha in the Bhakti Yoga, and Yajna Tap in the Karma Yoga, and Brahma Muhurat Dhyan Yoga, I have used the tools to clean up my enemy, my indriyas, which were always tormenting me, tantalizing and tempting me to remain in the muddha, pramad of tamas, and never get to sattva and gunati. So it's important to discover the Shiva, the introspective bliss inside all of us, by cleaning ourselves up just like Shiva does, using pratyahara and yoga. Shiva always has his eyes closed. He doesn't need anybody, anyone. We might need him. Awaken the Shiva inside you using panch pratyahara and three yoga, and experience the enormous bliss that you deserve. Jai Shri Ram.